Hey, how are you? My name is Whitney and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I have my lights turned down, I got my lantern and candle going. I just thought that I could be your storyteller. For right now, let's not think about what's going on in the world and let's just hear this crazy story that happened in my home state of Kentucky. This story is about the time that it rained meat. You know, cloudy with a chance of meatballs. It actually happened. So if you'd like to hear that, please stay tuned. So this story takes place in Bath County, Kentucky, March of 1876. So this happened a really, really long time ago. And I found this so interesting. So Mrs. Crouch was a farmer's wife and she was at her home. And she went outside to make soap. She was about 40 steps from her home. And it was around 11 or 12 o'clock. She's out there making soap on this beautiful day in Kentucky. We have really pretty springs. And so the skies were clear. The sun was shining. Out of the blue, with no warning, hunks of meat just start to fall out of the sky. She's so confused. Her and her husband just kind of watch for several minutes as these, what looks like to be raw meat, just falling from the sky. Some of the chunks were up to 3 inches long, yet others were as light as snowflakes. And after several minutes, with no warning again, it just stops. So the Crouches were very confused as to why this had happened. And they thought to themselves, could it be a miracle? Or could this be a warning? They were very confused, and word got around town and their neighbors. A scene unfolded at their property. All of these folks came in to try to see the meat shower and what was left of it. There were chunks of meat scattered everywhere, all over the house, the fence, and the yard. It was 100 yards long and 50 feet wide. And they were trying to determine what type of meat it actually was. At first they thought, well, because of the color and the consistency, I believe it could be beef. And a local hunter said, no, I think it might be bear. While as a couple other hunters decide to taste test this meat shower. They ate it, and each one said it could be a different type of meat. They couldn't agree upon of what it was. And so the local butcher in the town, he decided to take a stab at it. And he said it didn't taste anything like he had ever consumed before. It wasn't poultry. It wasn't beef. What could this possibly be? So because they could not determine this explanation of a meat shower, the local authorities collected samples of this meat and sent it all across the United States to different chemists and universities to see if they could test the meat and see what it actually is. Several said that it could be mutton, which is sheep meat, and others said no, they did not believe it was mutton. Another one suggested that maybe it could be this certain bacteria that whenever it hits rainwater, it reacts and makes this jelly-like substance, and they believe that it was a normal rain shower, but when it hit the ground, that's when it formed this substance all over everything it had rained on. But they still didn't believe that that is the determination. So the Crouches had went over every theory they possibly could with a scientist, and they truly believe that it was a group of buzzards that was flying all over their property, and they had possibly consumed too much meat. And to lighten their flight a little bit, they upchucked. So I don't want to make this too nasty, but come on. People ate vulture. So that was the determination. Could this actually be what they had said? Could it be vulture? We don't know. But the samples are still around to this day. That was the 1800s. Have they tested it since then? I don't believe they have. I believe that they could definitely determine what this possibly was a little bit easier these days and times. It was just imagine those times hearing that there was a meat shower. I mean, even in these days and times it sounds crazy. What do you think the theory was? Do you think that they had got this mystery solved? I don't know, to be honest. And I guess we won't figure it out until they actually, if they ever do test it and know for sure. So I thought this was a really interesting story about Kentucky. We have a lot of interesting stories. Let me know if you'd like to hear more of them. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to hear from you down in the comment section. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you aren't already. Bye guys!